So friends, guess who just lost a defamation suit for lying about Georgia election workers Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman? This guy, Rudy Giuliani. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, a judge just announced that Rudy Giuliani is liable for lying about and defaming these two Georgia election workers, Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman. And now it's all over, but for the jury's monetary damages award. How much will the jury say Rudy Giuliani has to pay for lying about, for defaming, and for comparing to drug dealers, Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman? Let's start with the reporting. This from Politico. Headline, Rudy Giuliani is liable for defaming election workers, judge rules. And that article begins, a federal judge ruled Wednesday that Rudy Giuliani is legally liable for defaming two Georgia election workers who became the subject of conspiracy theories related to the 2020 election that were amplified by Donald Trump in the final weeks of his presidency. In an unsparing 57-page ruling, U.S. District Court Judge Beryl Howell said Giuliani had flagrantly violated her orders to preserve and produce relevant evidence to the election workers, Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss, resulting in a default judgment against him. She also ordered him to pay Freeman and Moss punitive damages for failing to fulfill his obligations. The ruling means the case will now proceed to a jury purely to determine the amount of damages Giuliani will have to pay the two election workers. This quote from the judge, quote, just as taking shortcuts to win an election carries risks, even potential criminal liability, bypassing the discovery process carries serious sanctions, Judge Howell wrote. Giuliani spent weeks accusing Freeman and Moss of manipulating ballots during Georgia's vote counting process after the 2020 election, despite repeated investigations that debunked and discredited the allegations. The harassment that Freeman and Moss endured as a result of these conspiracy theories is at the heart of some of the criminal charges now facing several of Trump's co-defendants in the Georgia racketeering case brought by Fulton County prosecutors. Giuliani is charged in that case, in part, for making false statements to Georgia legislators related to his attacks on Freeman and Moss. He's also facing charges for his role as Trump's attorney in the aftermath of the 2020 election, leading a campaign to sow doubt about the election results and amplify baseless claims of fraud to bolster Trump's courtroom efforts to overturn the results. So, friends, it's almost all over. The only remaining question is, how much will Rudy have to pay for his lies, his damaging lies, his defamatory lies about Shaye Moss and her mother, Ruby Freeman? Remember their testimony at the January 6th House Select Committee hearings? They said that Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump ruined their lives. As a result of Rudy's lies, they received death threats, vulgar death threats, racist death threats. You might recall that Ms. Freeman said she can't even go to the grocery store anymore for fear that somebody will call out her name and she will be recognized by some Trump supporter. How do you make whole, how do you return the sense of security to Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman, the security that Rudy Giuliani stole from them as a result of his lies? That will be a question for the jury. Let's hope the jury delivers a great big dose of accountability to Rudy Giuliani, because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.